What's going on with inflation and how is that going to impact my trading account? Well, the bottom line is that inflation has gone up from 2.5% to 3%. What that means is if you were going to buy something that cost £100 this time last year, if you didn't buy it and decided to buy it this year, you would need £103 to buy that item. On the BBC today on the radio, they were saying that it wasn't really important that inflation was 3%. What we need to look at is inflation at the end of the year, and it doesn't really matter. And I found that really, really odd because to me, inflation is super important because as the cost of goods and services go up, what that means is people have less money in their pockets to buy goods and services. So they're put off from doing that. And that means the companies that are selling those goods and services don't get that sale, and therefore they obviously are not going to make a profit, and they're not going to do so well. That's going to have an impact on everything that we do. And obviously, once inflation goes up, the cost of things go up, then people will be expected to be earning more money. So they expect a pay rise to pay for that inflation, which means that companies have to put up prices to cover that pay rise. So it is a ever increasing cycle. So the truth is we really need to keep inflation down as low as we can. So I've had a quick look at the inflation data on the Office of National Statistics, and I really would like to just quickly show you what I've seen and what I think of inflation, and also have a look at my account and see what the stock market's done to my account and what those inflation figures have done, what an impact they've had. Here we are in the Office of National Statistics website, and they've got these nice graphs, and this nice graph tells you from 2015 all the inflation numbers right up to today, and this tells you that consumer price index with housing is 3.9%, and the standard rate that is quoted consumer price index is 3%. Now, the interesting thing, and it gives you all this nice information, the interesting thing, it shows you on this table, the consumer price index 12-month rate. It shows you that food and non-alcoholic beverages has gone up from 2 to 3.3. So that's above the average rate. So food is going up a lot, and there's one thing that we all use, we all need, and that is food. And if there's one thing that we all know, we can feel the cost of things going up and the cost of living crisis, that's food, and we all get that. So for instance, the next big thing is transport. So that's gone from negative inflation to 1.7 positive, and in this instance transport is the cost of going on an airplane, and not all of us use airplanes all the time, and the additional cost for that is attributed to the cost of fuel, which has gone up, and that's why that's gone up. So in a sense that's incidental. The really big thing is the food. That's the big change. And education is another one that's gone up, of course. That obviously in April or whenever the changes, the cost of education's going up, that we expect that to go up. So really I wanted to show you that you can go on the Office of National Statistics website, you can actually drill down into this detail and just see exactly what's going up. So regardless of what mainstream media tell you that it's not important, it's not worth looking at, it really is important. It's important in lots of areas. So how does that affect my trading account? Well, let's have a look at my trading account now and see what how my shares have performed today. So here's my trading account, and you might notice immediately there's something different from the last video I posted, because despite me saying that I was feeling a bit not uneasy about going into the market, I decided to take that opportunity and buy some Rio Tinto shares. So I bought one Rio Tinto share, and I paid £50 for it. And what I noticed with Rio Tinto was that it dropped off. So it dropped off right down here, and I thought, okay, that's dropped off because of the inflation figures, so I'm going to buy when it was about down here, and it's dropped a bit more. I could have bought it right down here, but it's come back up. And what I noticed was that the actual dividend payment is due on the 20th of March, and Rio Tinto are giving out £2.40 dividend payment. So whatever happens in the next month, if that share price doesn't change much, I'm going to make £2.40 out of that, buying that Rio Tinto share. So that's been quite positive for me. So the rest of my account, as you can see, it's all gone downhill. GSK, just a marginal change. Taylor Wimpey's gone down. That's like a yo-yo. Associated British Foods is another huge yo-yo. And Primary Health Properties, that has seen a nice rise recently. That's gone down with the inflation figures. So you can see it's not all good news. But GSK, that hardly changed. I think that's on the march, so I'm holding on to GSK for a bit longer. Obviously, dividends are it's a little way off yet, but I'm going to keep hold of that and keep looking. So compared to my last video, where my account was 330, it's now standing at 329.08, and that is solely because of the inflation change and the stock market getting the jitters. My expectation is that come the end of this week, that'll have changed and they'll have forgotten about that inflation figure and the stock market will bounce back a bit. That's what I'm hoping for. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I hope this video has been interesting and informative about inflation. And if it has, why not give it a like? That would be awesome. If you're enjoying this finance content, and I'm trying to branch out beyond premium bonds and my trading account, then why not subscribe to the channel and follow on? That would be awesome. Thank you very much indeed.